Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I just got over being sick, so my voice is still low-key a little raspy, but I had to talk about this. Like, I actually had to talk about this. So, I just finished a show on Netflix called The 8 Show. I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix exclusive, but it's a show that's like, it's about society, like, oh, society bad, whatever. And it honestly had a great intro premise. Like, it had one of the, like, a really good intro, and yes, my shirt's inside out. No, I don't care. Um, it had such a good premise and like interesting, like an interesting main character at first, and it was just good at first. Smiley, shut. Sorry, it's my dog. Um, and it was so good at first, but then it just completely falls off the rails, and it had possibly the worst ending I've ever seen in a show ever. Like, just so bad. Like, I don't understand why show writers like make something good at first. Like, they take all these good ideas and just throw it out the window. I'm not gonna spoil it or anything, but it's like, bro, like they take all these ideas and they just don't know what to do with it, and then it's just trash. But the thing about this, I'm gonna relate it to Squid Games because it's kind of like Squid Games, the whole like society thing. It's about like money and what people will do for money, but it's a lot worse than Squid Games. Where Squid Games, like, you like it's hard to explain if you haven't watched it, but Squid Games, it when you think of the ending, you could not like it because it's a bad ending, and I thought the ending was pretty terrible. It was literally just, it's just okay. I'm done with all these bad endings and all these shows, bro. It's getting so annoying because in Squid Games, the season one ended. The spoilers for that show, but it ends like this, right? Jihoon and his best friend, basically the money's on the line, but then Jihoon, am I saying his name right? I don't know. 456, whatever. I love that show, and it was a perfect ending to season one. They wrapped everything up. Basically, Jihoon says at the very end, he was good the whole time. He goes like, "Yo, let's just end it." He voted to end it, which is good. And then all the VIPs, if you remember the end of season one, were like, "He's gonna end the game. He's gonna end the game." The VIPs were bullshit, but like they basically watched in silence as Jihoon was, after all he went through, was willing to throw away the money to save his friend. But then, his friend like kills, like, I can't say that, but in the end his friend, you know, chooses to go out. So Jihoon gets the money, but he's not happy, and then he goes to see the old guy, and then it wraps everything up. And I thought that was a great ending. Then he goes to fight back, but then they end in season three literally the same way. It's just in the end he's like, he sacrificed himself for the freaking baby, and all the VIPs were like, "What? He sacrificed himself instead of taking the money?" And it was literally the same thing, except in this time he fell, and that's it. Like, it was just the same thing but worse, like a lot worse. And then none of the villains got you. Like, you don't see anything satisfying that you want to see. When you see villains in a show, you want them to be like punished, but you don't get to see that. They just go away and fly away in their helicopters, and the games continue, and yeah, that's it. That's it. And it's just a bad ending, and it's like, okay. Like, I get what it's trying to say, but I think a show like that should like provide some hope. Like, here's an answer, like, that's what really gets people going, but instead they just made it like a really sad, not, I wouldn't even say it's sad, but really, bro, like a really dumb ending. You don't even get to see everything you want to see. Like a lot of story arcs don't get provided in like actual ending, like the brother, he just blah blah blah. And that all relates to the H show, because the H show did everything like that, but just 10 times worse. So the H show basically starts out, it's basically these people, 8 people in this area, and they have to entertain these hosts. They don't know who the hosts are, but the hosts are weird, and they have to entertain them for money. And it just gets more and more. But then the show, like every episode just gets gradually worse. Like the first episode really good, second episode good but worse, third episode good but worse, fourth episode mid, and then bad, and then really bad, and then eighth episode is just like a completely awful. Like, it just goes off the rails stupid. It literally just turns into torture. Like, the show just turns into torture, like over and over again, and they keep, like, all the characters make such dumb decisions, and they just keep going over and over and over and over and over again. They just keep showing these torture scenes, and I literally like just like stopped watching it a bit, and I looked it up, and everyone did too, because there's literally a scene where they're all like hallucinating from the torture, and it's like it just drags on, and it's like they try to make it like artsy, like make it like art, but I'm like, dude, this is just disgusting. Like, this isn't showing anything. Like, this would not happen, bro. Like, that's just weird. And they made it, like, really annoying characters. Like, one kind of redeems himself in the end, sure. I don't count it, but they made these really annoying characters, and those characters, like, just nothing happens to them. Like, you never see them lose or anything. They just pretty much win, 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 and then win. Like, it's so annoying to watch. And then the show just ends. Okay, no, I'm not gonna spoil it, but one of the bad characters, like, they go to jail because, you know, they won basically all the prize money. That's and then they just go to jail because they are insane, and then they just kind of go to jail, and then that's it. And it's supposed to like be like, oh, like, even with all the money, they were still bad, but like, it's just stupid. Like, you basically see them torture the main characters, and then they just pretty much get away with it, and it's so stupid. Like, you don't, there's nothing satisfying. And they did a different scene where they made like one of the, I'm not gonna spoil it, but one character just dies for like literally no reason. Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's so dumb. And then the show ends, and you never figure out who the hosts are. You never figure anything out. The show just ends, and it's like, all humans are bad. You know, we are Netflix, and we hate the world and society. And that's pretty much how they ended Squid Game Season 3 when Season 1 had a perfect ending. You know, Netflix took the reins, and when Netflix takes the reins, they just, sometimes they just like to make it, just humans are bad, the end. And it's like, all right, bro. Like, it's just, I don't know what's up with all these garbage endings to all these shows, bro. Like, why, like, it's not even that. Squid Game's garbage. Like, how do you have all these great shows and then just these garbage endings? Why do they try to go so hard and deep just for it to be terrible? Like, just because your life's terrible doesn't mean the show you're making has to make my life terrible to watch that ending. Like, it literally just ruined the whole thing. Like, don't even watch that show. It's not even worth it. That show is awful. Like, it literally went from a, like, really, like, 10 out of 10 first episode to 0. Like, and it just became disgusting to watch. And it just became pathetic. Like, honestly, like, why, like, the actors even allowed themselves to act in that. Like, it was just so weird. Like, it's just gross, bro. Like, what are we doing? I'm so done because I just wasted like hours just watching that show because I really wanted to see how it ended. I want to see all the bad characters. Like, I wanted to satisfy myself and see, you know, them lose. But no, they pretty much, honestly, they win. They win in the end, and then the good guys just like, they just lose. Like, bro, I'm fine with the ending like that if it makes, no, I'm not, honestly, I'm not. Honestly, I don't like endings like that, but I can understand an ending where the good guys can lose. I can, if it's written well, I can understand. I would never like an ending like that. It doesn't really stick with me, and it's like, okay, I still feel like I wasted my time, but I can understand it if it's written well. But this, I don't understand. This was stupid. Like, okay, bro, this sucks. Like, this genuinely sucks. I wasted all that time just to watch an ending that sucks. Garbage. 0 out of 10 show. I don't, and it's not even just that, but I've watched so many shows recently, and they all just have these terrible endings. Whatever. Bye.